We're going to Barcelona on the 25th to the 28th of November. We fly from Manchester to Barcelona at 6:20, and on the 28th, we fly from Barcelona to Manchester at 15 minutes to 10. And the hotel we're staying at is Petite Palace, Bulgaria Garden, and our average cost for the trip is €300. The websites we found useful is TikTok, ChatGPT, Instagram, Google Maps, and GoCity.
We get into Barcelona at around 11, half 11. So then 11:30 till 12:30, we're going to go to Tequio Tacos. The theme for this is global food culture, and it costs around €1 to €10. And then we're going to take a 5-minute walk, which will take us to 12:35, and then we're going to go to the La Burca market, and we're going to leave there around 1:15. The theme for this is cultural immersion. The cost is €10 to €30, and then it's an 8-minute walk, which will take us till 1:25 to the Gothic Quarter, and we're going to do some sightseeing. We're going to leave there around 1:45. We're going to look at the Barcelona Cathedral, Roman ruins, the Wall of the Kiss, and the Barca store. The theme for this is cultural and history. This doesn't cost anything, but we've put €0 to €20 just in case. After this, we'll check into the hotel, and from 6 till 8, we're going to go to the Feira de Reis Christmas markets, and the theme for this is observing local traditions. The cost is around €20 to €40, and we'll get a bite to eat whilst we're there.
So for day 2, we have based on food and culture. From 11 till 12, our first attraction we chose to do is Casa Balto, which is included in the Go City Pass. After that attraction, it is about a 27-minute walk to our second attraction, which is the La Sagrada Familia. That will be from around 12:30 to 1:30. After we're finished with that attraction, it will be about a 10-minute walk to the Corgi Cafe. It'll give us time to eat. It will be from around 1:40 to 2:40. Once we're finished with that, we will be stopping at the hotel just for some free time. Once we're done with the free time, we'll be heading to the Sunset Catamaran boat with live music. That will be for around from 4:30 to 6:30. Once we're finished with that, we'll be heading to the pasta market, which is going to be from 6:45 till 7:45. So the Casa Balto, La Sagrada Familia, those are included in the Go City Pass, and so is the catamaran boat.
Day 3 is split into 2 parts, part 1 being Montjuic. At 11:30, we'll get the cable cars from the bottom to the top of the mountain. The reason we're doing this is for sustainable tourism. We'll then get off the cable cars at 11:45, where we'll go to Montjuic Castle. The reason we're doing this is for the military history, and it's €12 a ticket. We'll get back on the cable cars to Mirador, and the reason we're doing that is for the cultural landscapes, and that is a free park to visit. We'll then be getting a taxi to Pablo Español, which is experiential tourism, as it's an open-air museum. And we'll be doing that from 20 to 2 to 2:10. And then we'll travel from there to the Jomo Cafe for some food and culture. Jomo Cafe is a brunch bar, and we'll be there till 20 to 4. Part 2 is the Gothic Quarter. So from Jomo, we'll be going to Placa de Real in the Gothic Quarter, and we'll be staying there from 4 till 4:30. This is also a free park, but there is an opportunity to shop, so the cost for that is €0 to €10. From there, we'll be walking just a couple of minutes to the Gothic Quarter Ghost Tour, and we're doing this for its dark tourism aspect, and this costs €12 a ticket. It's then a 10-minute walk for dinner, which is at Petite Tapas, which is a nice little tapas restaurant in the Gothic Quarter, and we'll be there from 20 to 7 to 20 to 8. And the reason we're going to here is for food and culture, and we've estimated the cost from €15 to 20. Then from there, we'll be walking to the Nightmare Horror Museum, and we're doing this again for dark tourism, and that's €25 a ticket.
Day 4 and our final day in Barcelona will be spent sightseeing, seeing anything that we haven't. So this will start at 11 till 12:30 at the Parc de la Situela. The theme for this will be urban green spaces, and the cost is €0 as it's free entry. From this, we'll have a 3 minutes walk to the Chocolate Museum, and this will be from 12:30 to 2 o'clock. The theme is gastronomy. The cost for this will be €7 to €12. From the Chocolate Museum, we then have a 20 minutes walk to the Barcelona beach, and the theme for this will be urban spaces and leisure. The cost will be €0 to €5. And from the beach, we've got a 10 minutes walk to our final destination, which will be Cala Nura. The theme is food culture, and the cost will be €15 to €20. And this will be from 3:30 to 4:30.
Hello, my name is Julia and I do International Tourism Management in the University of Lancashire. Welcome to my Barcelona trip vlog. So this video is a part of my academic project where I'll be exploring the city through its history, culture, architecture and everyday life. So starting with day 1 of my trip to Barcelona, it started quite early. I headed to the meet-up spot to catch the minibus with my course mates, and once we arrived at the airport and boarded the plane, I realised I'd somehow ended up with an amazing seat, extra leg room, even though I hadn't paid anything extra for it. Honestly, it felt like the perfect start to the trip. As you can see here in the caption, I loved it. When I landed in Barcelona airport, I headed by taxi to the hotel. On the drive there, I was glued to the window, taking in the scenery. I noticed gravestones built in the mountains, which is so different from anything back in the UK. It immediately made the place feel unique, honestly. Look how gorgeous that is. So when I got to the hotel, I couldn't check in till about 3 o'clock. So I went and looked around. Honestly, it was so nice. So after looking around the hotel, then I decided to explore the area and made my way to the beautiful and historic Gothic Quarter. The streets were narrow, full of character, and honestly so charming. I wandered into the La Bucaneria market, which was bursting with colourful fruits, sweets, meats, just everything. The fruit looked so refreshing. There we go, there's a Bucaneria market. I came across Marilyn Monroe, I think that's what her name is. And then I saw some little markets, so I thought I'd go check them out. I came across this massive cathedral, by the way, and oh my god, it was so pretty. Like, look at that Christmas tree in front of that building. It just made it even prettier. And then I visited the famous Kiss of Freedom wall, which was even more fascinating in person, I'm not gonna lie. I saw these really cool statues. I've also learned that if you walk backwards underneath this bridge and you make a wish, your wish will come true. I went down these little alleyways and you could see little Christmas shops and a duck shop. I then went and visited the official Barcelona store. That was really cool. I did have a long morning, so I just chilled with my course mates when we checked in before I headed out and explored more. So later that evening, I took about a 30-minute walk to see the light show at Casa Batlló. On the way, I passed some beautiful mountains. They were honestly so nice and pretty, all lit up. The whole area was lit up pretty much. We took some photos. I honestly loved it, like it was so nice. Look at us. So cute. The light show itself was completely worth day 1. We left that till last, only because it was the most exciting part of the day. And we had a nap before it, so we had so much energy to actually go out and enjoy ourselves, to actually explore more. And it was honestly surreal. I'm pretty sure that every light show is every half an hour. And it's the same thing every half an hour pretty much. It does bring a big crowd in. I had to sit on the floor because there was actually no space for me to sit anywhere. So after the light show was finished, I walked back to the hotel and ended my long first day with a drink in the garden. So the theme for day 2 was cultural and heritage. I wanted to do a lot on that day, so I woke up early, head out, went through the Gothic Quarter on my way to Casa Batlló, and this is me inside, showing you a little tour. Casa Batlló was designed by Antoni Gaudí and is considered one of his masterpieces. A remodel of a previously built house, it was redesigned in 1904 by Gaudí and has been refurbished several times since. So I had 4 passes on my Go City pass, and this was one of the attractions that I used my pass for. So it was free to enter, so worth it. This was a great opportunity for me to experience historic tourism firsthand. This was a model of Casa Batlló, and here's Kendall trying to take a photo. Exploring the inside of Casa Batlló was incredible. The architecture, the colours and the overall design were even more impressive up close. There were quite a lot of stairs, so getting around was definitely tiring, but the experience was completely worth it. So towards the end of my visit, there was a cinema style room where the screening covered the entire space. It created such a unique illusion, and it was a really good way to end the attraction. I'd say it lasted roughly about 5 minutes, so it was about 5 minutes long of colours literally all around you. It was really, really cool. So this whole space is actually called The Cube. It's a collaboration that brings together electronic music and digital art in a 360 audio-visual space located in the basement of Casa Batlló. I think this is a great attraction. It just brings everyone together, and it's just something you don't expect after walking around so many stairs and seeing statues, different rooms, and then you all of a sudden enter this kind of cinema that is just unreal, and it's so trippy. I'm also aware that they feature different artists, so it's a different screening at different times of the year. Here I am, really enjoying it. Honestly, so worth it. Once I finished the tour, I continued my day with a 30-minute walk to another iconic landmark, which is the Sagrada Familia. Seeing the Sagrada Familia in person was honestly breathtaking. Unfortunately, I couldn't go inside because it was fully booked with no availability, but even seeing the exterior made the walk worth it. After that, I went to the popular Corgi Cafe, definitely one of the cutest stops of the entire trip. I absolutely love places like this, and getting to spend time around the dogs while enjoying great food made the experience even better. It was such a fun and wholesome break in the day. So my next activity of day 2 being ticked off the list is a boat trip. Being out on the water was so relaxing and almost surreal. I've never been on a boat before. This was my first time, and honestly I was shaking, but it was so worth it. Even though the ride did get a bit rocky because of the wind. And to end the evening for food, I went to the pasta market. So day 3 was easily one of the most memorable days of the trip and the longest. The theme was scenic, nature, dark and historical tourism. I started my morning with a 30-minute uphill walk towards the Montjuic cable cars, and although it was steep, the views were absolutely worth it. Along the way, I did spot a huge parrot nest. Every single step I took up that hill, I saw something new that I've never seen before. I then used my Go City pass to head up the cable cars up to the Montjuic Castle. So that was for free, and I absolutely loved it. It was a bit shaky, and I am scared of heights, but I did really like the ride. It was just so refreshing to sit down with a nice view. I'm pretty sure I did about 26,000 steps that day. But yeah, let's just take a minute. That view was just incredible. You could literally see Sagrada Familia and everything from up there. To go inside and on top of the Montjuic Castle, it was about £17 for an admission. We did have to pay separate for that. The trip did not include it, but it was honestly so worth it. The views were incredible. You could see everything. Here's me and Kendall modelling for my vlog. At the top, after exploring, I grabbed an ice cream with my uni group. I went for a raspberry sorbet and honestly it was amazing in the Spanish heat. Once I finished exploring the castle, I took the cable car back down and walked another 30 minutes afterwards. So here's me walking for another half an hour to our next attraction. The views were incredible from up there. Once again, the views everywhere are just insane. I just can't get my words out. They're just everywhere you go. It's just lovely. So on my way, I passed the grand steps leading up to the Museum of Art, I believe. Here's me trying to get some good shots of it because I couldn't go inside. Then I reached Pueblo Español, which is our next attraction. It was completely decorated for Christmas, super aesthetic, warm and festive. There was this little shop with truffle, I believe this was. It was just decorated with Christmas decorations like this. Towards the end of the visit at Pueblo Español, I headed over to a small room, which was a cinema at the end of the attraction. It just shows a short film played explaining the culture and history of Spain. So like the tomato fights, the bowls, and the people towers, I believe it's called. This turned out to be incredibly helpful for my assignment because it looked at both the historical and darker sides of Spain's cultural development. This was some of the art inside of the corridor I found really interesting. And to end the day, which is day 3, I headed over to the Gothic Quarter for a ghost tour, which was surprisingly fascinating. It explored the hidden and sometimes eerie history of Barcelona, while guiding us past many of the area's iconic buildings, attractions, cathedrals, etc. It was the perfect mix of storytelling and history, and a really unique way to finish the day. Fun fact, this barbed wire statue symbolises freedom and human struggle. And this is Laura, which was our tour guide for the ghost tour. After a long day of walking, I treated myself to room service. We did enjoy it. So moving on to day 4, my theme was coastal and leisure, also educational. I enjoyed a slow start to the morning and then got ready to check out of the hotel. Even though it was my last day, I still had a few things that I wanted to fit in. My first stop was the Mocha Museum. It was incredibly fascinating and super artsy. As I walked through the galleries, I saw all kinds of artwork like illusions, emotional and heartfelt pieces, and really creative modern art. I'm not quite sure who this is by, but I thought that this was really funky and creepy. Yeah, just loads of funky images. All of the art had all different kinds of stories behind them, so each room was different. This museum also shows how art connects to social issues and culture. This wall right here shows your pulse, so you've got a machine where you put your thumbs down and it shows your pulse on the screen. This was one of the illusions. I see this illusion all over TikTok and social media and everywhere else. This is really popular, so this is the main reason I really wanted to go see Mocko Museum. It does get really strange if you stay in there for too long because you're not used to seeing reflections after reflections after reflections. But there's a few pictures of all of us just enjoying our time, our last day. So, fun fact, the Mocko Museum isn't just based in Barcelona, it's also based in Amsterdam. The museum is known for its street art exhibitions, especially works by Banksy, one of the most famous street artists in the whole world. Let's take a moment for that £10 note. Anyway, the museum's main aim is to make art accessible and relatable, encouraging visitors to think about social issues, culture and creativity. And there is always something new to discover at the Mocko Museum. Towards the end of the attraction, when we headed back to the gift shop, they did give us a free poster voucher, which I think is insane. I got a Mona Lisa poster. It was really nice and it was pink. After the museum, I made my way to the beach. I hadn't been yet, and since it was my fourth and final day, I didn't want to leave without seeing it. The view was beautiful, calm, open and relaxing, and naturally I had to enjoy a cocktail before leaving the beach, just to soak in the last bit of Barcelona sunshine. Then I headed back to the hotel to grab my luggage and pack away all of my souvenirs. Once everything was organised and I was ready to travel, I realised I still had about an hour left before my taxi arrived, so I made one last quick trip to the Gothic Quarter to see the Christmas markets. After browsing all the stores, I walked back to the hotel, got into my taxi and made my way to Barcelona Airport to fly back home, ending my amazing trip on a warm, happy note. So now that I've finished talking about my vlog and explaining how much this trip has educated me, throughout this experience I learned a lot, not just from being on the trip itself, but also from the research I did along the way. The information I found helped me understand the topics more deeply and allowed me to present everything more clearly in my vlog. So here are some references I used for my vlog.